I hope I'm not too late. It's your I'm on my knees.
Welcome, guys, to the 100 Gems podcast, home for the champs. Listen up, guys. We got my beautiful wife singing. Y'all didn't even know she was blowing for y'all today. Listen up. We got a great show for you guys today. It's just the coach and the coach's coach. Y'all see her? It's the coach's coach. My beautiful wife, Miss Shaunte Moore. Y'all see her. So today we just wanted to just chime in with you guys, and we're going to talk about a few things. First, I wanted to edify my wife and let you guys know that having a good wife with you is always key. And I just want to say that, baby, I'm thankful for you. I'm thankful that you allow me to be able to talk to the people, to give the people my spirit, to give the people financial literacy. And that's not an easy task. It's not an easy task for me. I know definitely it's not an easy task for you because you're extending your husband to the people. And it takes a special woman to extend your other half. We have a big family. We have over 10 children. And you have such a big role. And I want to start off by saying I appreciate you in that role. I'm always in and out of town, guys. We're doing works even in other countries. And I'm not home a lot. And that's hard on the family. It's hard on me. It's hard on my wife. But somebody got to do it. And so I want to say thank you for that. And I guess we can start off by just talking about that. And we'll get off into other things. Like, how does that feel to, what kind of woman does that? What kind of woman allows that?
I wouldn't say what kind of woman, but I guess your partner just has to be supportive and understands the mission and the goal at hand. So I feel like that's why I'm more um, acceptable to you not being home, or I don't have a worry of anything negative, or if you out doing nothing with your time. I know you're using your time very wisely and doing what you need to do for the community.
That's right. That's right. So she's community driven, guys. My wife has multiple businesses. Of course, working with the coach. That's part of what we do. Our mission is to make sure that everyone has uh, their personal profiles, credit profiles in line, understanding financial literacy, and being able to venture off into the entrepreneurship world. And my wife, my beautiful wife, has multiple businesses, multiple nonprofit organizations. We just did a community baby shower in Atlanta, Georgia. That was a great success. And your passion, such passion for people, especially women. I'm not going to say that you don't have passion for men and children, but yet you definitely have a passion for women because, and I always knew that, even when we did the baby shower, I understood more of the passion because I was in it and I felt it and I seen the young women that we gave Pampers to and strollers and I felt it like I was actually connected with it. You want to tell me about that, like that passion with Lady, the community baby shower, the women? Where did that come from?
The passion is really for the people, but I try to hone in on the women because, of course, I am a woman myself and I can identify a little
Fine
bit
woman
more.
yourself. I'm listening.
I
Excuse me.
can identify a little more with the things that I've struggled with or the things that I may needed a little extra support in. Coming from being a teen mom as well as a single mom at the age of 20 of 3 children, I knew the struggle that I had. So that was one of the reasons why I birthed Late Inc. to become a more of a support in helping people with some of the things that I know I struggled with as a young mother.
I thank you for coming on 100 Gems, home of the champs. I want people to know about all of the champs in the community. I know a lot of people consider me a champ, but they don't see behind the scenes of the support that I have. My champ, my wife. What kind of advice could you give a mother that has multiple children? You have to clean, cook, get the kids to school, make sure they do their homework, It's hard. It's not the easiest thing. What kind of advice could you give young mothers and probably even older mothers just in that light? Because you do such a great job at that.
Thank you. I feel like every mother is different or every child is different, but one of the things that I try to do is come up with a certain regimen or a certain time that I do certain things and remain focused on the task at hand. And of course, oftentimes we may have certain things that's come in a way where we can't really stay on focus or task of what we had to do during the day. So just try to get back. So just really come up with a certain regimen or different things that could help you, whether it's setting a timer, meditating to yourself, or just finding a certain support system. I like to journal. So certain things like if it's bothering me during the day or kind of give a thought to myself on how my day went so that I can reflect and see how I can bring my next day better.
All right, that's great. I understand journaling. Just really, I really only understood it since you became my wife, and I'm not sure if a lot of other people understand journaling. And I know, can you tell me why? Because now I look at journaling almost a mental wellness type of thing, right? So can you share with us what journaling does for you? And I know you hit on it. Like, why do you do it? Where did that come from?
It started at a young age. I felt like I wasn't being heard. And oftentimes, even though you are not being heard, doesn't mean that you can't get your thoughts out where it's like you're being heard, because oftentimes you just want to get the words off your chest, basically. Whether that's you sitting in the mirror talking to yourself where you're thinking about the person who you want to express this to, or just writing it down on paper. So it was more so like a therapeutic approach for me because of me not being heard. So I wrote my thoughts down and then it made me feel better. So I just started collecting journals every time I went to the store. I bought a journal and always wrote in it. So with like now, like you said, with me and you being together, oftentimes, of course, I can speak to you or talk to you about my day or things like that. But sometimes I maybe need to get it off my chest right away and you may be in a meeting or out the country. So I can easily just write it down and take a breather and then be able to talk to you later about maybe how I was feeling in the day later on.
Oh, I'm glad we're having this conversation. So now I know if I'm feeling a certain kind of way with you and I don't want to address something, I'm gonna say, baby, go get your journal. Right. Hey, go. I think you need to go get your journal. No, really having this conversation actually, it helps with some things. And like you said, your real reason was because you felt like you wasn't getting heard. And I know we talk about that a lot still. Like you express, hey, I don't feel like I'm being heard. And yet that's a great thing that I encourage some of you guys to get a journal. I know you working on some new things with a
Mhm,
workbook and journal collection
mhm.
that's coming up. So I definitely encourage you guys to support my wife and her mission with Late Ink and her journaling or her product and journaling because I think that's a great thing. And so tell me, what else is coming up? What's new coming up with Late Ink? Any new things that you got coming up?
Not really new, just pushing it forward, which will be more of a, I would say, self esteem build or routine build type of program. It's called the 30-day challenge.
Okay.
And the 30-day talent challenge is pretty much to gear people towards healthy habits. Oftentimes we get lost into certain habits where we're maybe putting social media in the way of certain things that we can accomplish. And so, or TV or going out with your friends. So coming up with a system, oftentimes people wonder why they haven't gotten to another level or so far, but they really not paying attention to the things that they are putting before the necessity things that they need to do during the day.
All right, that's awesome. Yeah, routine is key, guys, right? Repetition is the mother of skill, and having a routine is key, especially from a self esteem standpoint, too. Sometimes you just got to wake up and say, man, I am the man. I am the man. I know I always talk about my mom saying, hey, when I was young, she always said, well, you a genius. And she said that because why? She overlooked my flaws because I know I was messing up every day. But it was so routine in her saying that I started believing I was a genius. Yeah, and just imagine a routine of you waking up every day saying to your children, "You ain't shit." Maybe they just gonna wake up, man, I just ain't shit, you know. But if your mom wake up every day and say, oh, you such a beautiful soul, you gonna change the world. Those things are really key, and I think we should look at that more. And so I think that's a great project that you're working on, the 30-day challenge. That's a great way to start instilling some of those principles into our community. And y'all didn't know my wife is a twin. She has a twin sister, my sister, okay? Her name is Lachey. Hey, Lachey. So she has a twin sister, great brother, Mr. Deontay. She has a couple brothers. Deontay is my favorite. He like my real brother. I always tell people all the time, hey, man, it's my brother. And for years, people, hey, they think he my brother. He is my brother. They be like, hey, man, I thought this was your real brother. Hey, he is my real brother. But yeah, having so many children, I want to go back to that because that's key. You always wanted a big family. You always told me that you wanted a big family, and that ain't the easiest thing. Like a lot of men wouldn't be committing to no big family. What is it? Why a big family? Because really, from what I'm seeing, a lot of women, they don't want a lot of children anymore. Some of them don't want no kids or just one, or women, they want a girl. So what was it about you that really wanted you to have this big family?
Just the love that I grew up with. My mom, she was a single mom, but she spreaded her love around us equally. As in, I would say, I never felt, oh, she had a favorite child, or when it came to the love aspect. Now, of course, I may have thought she may hurt another child a little bit more, or paid attention to that child's needs a little more often than I felt. But again, that's a personal opinion for my needs in that moment. But me being honestly, when first started growing up, I only wanted one child, which was a girl. And then as time went on and I became into a profession of teaching and actually having a chance to experience children, and I didn't have a daughter as of yet. All
And
boys.
she talked me into that girl. Y'all don't even know, man. Listen here, listen here. Beautiful girl. Love my babies. Love all my children. The girl is the baby, right? She looks just like her mama
She
and her
looks like
daddy.
her daddy.
Yeah. But as she's getting bigger, I see more of her, of you in her, like split image almost, but of both,
Just
which is
looks right,
crazy.
yeah.
I know a lot of times people say we look like brothers and sisters. I know I look good, you know what I'm saying? Because my wife look good. We thank you for coming in on short notice to come on an interview with me on the 100 Gems podcast, Home of the Champs. Since I'm the coach, they
Mhm.
call me the coach for a reason, right? I'm a financial strategist. One thing I encourage is for us to teach everybody around us this. And on our first date, our very first date, I want you to tell the people, that's the camera right there. I want you to tell them people on our very first date, what did I ask you? What did we do on our very first date?
Very first date, we looked at my credit report to see how well I manage my finances, and as well as how we can get myself to the next level of my goals that I wanted to achieve in life.
The very first date, y'all, we looked at her credit report. I'm not saying like on the very first date, you should be looking at folks' credit report. If they let you look at it, you should look at it. You can have a good financial conversation. I wanted to just show value and see where my wife was at. She was my friend at the time. At that time, it was only one thing on your credit report. You remember that? It was one thing, and it was We Energies. It was electrical bill, electric gas bill. That's here in the state of Wisconsin. They don't report on the credit report no more. So you wouldn't even have no credit if we were just met now and you was just doing that. But
Yeah, and that's
that
why I always say you one of the greatest men I ever met, because your interest in me wasn't just what most women out here try to portray for men. Oh, you want sex, or you just want money,
oh,
or
I wanted that too. I wanted, no, let me stop.
but it was
We
more
did have
so.
sex, not that first day, but you know what? No, I'm listening. Yeah, yeah,
But it was more so your interest of where I was trying to go and my goals in life.
yeah.
So that was really one of the biggest turn-ons for me, because oftentimes, especially when you, like you say, you are beautiful or you have a certain body shape, you would think that a lot of men just want one thing. But honestly, like, that was one of the things, you took your time with actually getting to know me
Right,
and
right.
actually understanding who I was as a person before we made any sudden moves.
Try to make sure she wasn't broke. You know what I mean? Make sure she didn't owe no whole bunch of people. The conversation was really just to, like you said, it was really to pour into you with what I learned and what I can potentially help with. And you was open to that, which was great. And you didn't really have much credit. You just had the we energies that was reported on time. And so what we did was we just added a few more positive things to the credit report. And within 1 year, you was probably at least 2 houses you had in your name, access to capital in within 1 year. It was probably less than that.
Mhm.
I'm saying 1 year just so everybody know you can start now. Within a year, you could be the next level.
Yeah.
You can have businesses. In that first year, I think you had at least one or two businesses that was established as well. Now those credit scores are 700 plus across the board. You've had multiple properties now, at least, I don't know, over a dozen properties.
Mm.
Good, great job. And multiple access to capital. I don't know how many credit cards you got now. I'm supposed to be keeping up with that, don't know how many credit cards she got, how much she's spending. But we don't use credit cards for things that don't make sense. Normally, we just use them for investments. We just make sure we try to pay them off when we can in full, but we try to use them for investments, right, guys? That's what should happen. I think my wife probably has at least 20 to 25 credit cards.
Mhm.
I have 40 plus credit cards. So we dissolved the myth that you only can have a few credit cards or having too many credit cards could lower your credit scores. That's not the case, guys. You can have multiple credit cards, okay? Just make sure you use them once within every 6 months so they won't shut them down and you'll be good. I really wanted to give you a drill. I was thinking about asking you a credit question. Let me see. What question, guys, should I ask her about credit? We're going to give her a drill. Okay. What's the difference between a revolving and an installment account? What's a revolving account? She getting the drill, y'all. I'm trying to get in on her. Yeah, see, I don't play with mine. What's a revolving account, baby?
A revolving account is like a credit card.
That's right, a credit card, guys. A credit card is a revolving account, meaning that you only pay off what you utilize. So, like a credit card, if it's $10,000, you don't pay on the whole $10,000 unless you use it. If it's $1,000 being used, then you only pay on that thousand, right? That's what a revolving account is. What's an installment account?
A loan. Like
Loan, like a car loan is an installment account. A home loan is an installment account, right? A personal loan is an installment account. For example, if you have a car that's $20,000, then you have to start paying interest on the whole $20,000 right away, right? So if you get the car today, normally within 30 days, you start paying interest on that whole 20,000. But if you get a line of credit or a credit card and it's $20,000, you don't pay interest on the $20,000. You don't pay interest on anything until you utilize it. So great answer. You got that right. Should I give her one more, y'all? Say yes. Say yes. Okay. The next question is going to be this. For a new person that's trying to establish credit, let's call it a 19-year-old, never had credit before. Which one has the better impact on their credit score? A credit card that their mom had that has a $5,000 limit and she's not using it, she's never been late, has years history to it, or should they go get one of those secure credit cards that most credit agencies or advisors ask? Should they get a secure credit card or should they be added as an authorized user on their mom's card?
they should be added as an authorized user on their mother's credit card.
Oh, y'all see, I got me a smart one. Listen, guys, don't fall for the trick. Secure cards is an elementary approach to credit building because in the future, you want to go to the bank to get more access. And if you got a secure card that's $500, banks are going to match and mirror that limit. Why not be added to your mom's card? That's a higher limit. When you go to the bank to ask for your own card, now guess what? You have a higher limit coming through. What does that do when you got a higher limit? It gives you the ability to be able to invest in other things. I want to be clear when we talk about credit, when we talk about accessing capital, we're only looking at it from an investment standpoint, from a standpoint where you can get yourself to the next level, not for just things that don't make sense. I want to be clear about that. Before we go, I want you to look in the camera and just give the people a tip. What's your tip for the people that's looking in today that they can go home with? It don't have to be about money, finances, just a tip for the people.
My tip would be just stay focused and committed to what it is that you set out to do.
Y'all hear that? Stay focused, stay committed to what you got to do. My name is Coach Darvin, and this is the 100 Gems Podcast, home of the champs, and we got my beautiful wife here today. Thank you, baby, for allowing me to talk to these people. Peace.